All right. Welcome to the Traveling Hoopers podcast. I am Alan Pettigrew, and this is
Philip Dixon. Way to present me like I'm somebody special. I appreciate that.
You special today. It's only the two. So.
Childish. All right, do you want to explain where everybody else is so they don't just be like, that was a one-time thing?
No, they've been fired. They've been let go. I'm just kidding.
Childish.
Our guys, Levi and Calvin, both have some family things to take care of. They should be back next week. If not, we'll drive to Memphis and Kansas City and kidnap them and force them to do the podcast. So
says you.
Let's get back. You got.
I don't got no money for that though.
Bro, but Levi's like down the street for you. I can do that. I'll do the long distance thing and go get Calvin.
Big facts. All right, continue.
All right, so let's hop into this NBA news. You know, the main thing on everybody's plate and everybody's TV was, of course, that boy Jimmy Butler. Anybody else is like really like not afraid of Jimmy Butler, but for you to pump someone who is almost 8 inches taller than you on a regular basis, like, you think they gotta hurt Karl Anthony Towns' heart, or he just kind of knows?
All right, we all know that Karl Anthony Towns is, one of those, like, suburban black kids. You know what I mean? And Jimmy Butler's, like, one of those kids that came from, like, the inner city. Like, he punking them. Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Hey, chill. Because I'm a suburban black kid, and I'm not gonna let you get that off.
Bro.
If for the most part, you are, too.
Bro, I know I am. like, I know my place in this earth, and I know your place, and I know Karl Anthony Towns' place. I've seen him my whole entire life, and I can just tell what kind of guy he is. Like he played indoors his whole life. He never had to punt a blacktop. You know what I mean? That's upsetting that Karl Anthony Towns got dogged like that, supposedly. But I think it's really funny how the media or Jimmy Butler or whatever specifically pointed out Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, because in my mind, I know for a fact that Jimmy Butler did not go up to Derrick Rose or Jeff Teague and talk to them like that. Because at the end of the day, no matter what, you know that Jeff Teague and Derrick Rose are about that action. You know what I mean?
No, I'm going to be real with you. I can see Jeff Teague being about that action and giving off that energy is like, dude, you don't got to talk to me. Derrick Rose, on the other hand, I feel like if you snap on him, he's just going to stare at you. And you're going to give up because you kind of like, this man don't even hear me.
Yo, you don't want to, like, Derrick Rose, to me, and from interviews I've heard from, like, other people, is that guy who's, like, quiet to himself, but, like, you don't want him to send him to that level. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, this dude's actually from Southside Chicago and was, like, the god of Southside Chicago. You know what I mean? Like, at some point in his life, he had to take care of himself. You know what I mean? Not like, like fend for himself, but like, on the playground, at school, he had to take care of himself because there's certain situations in life that's going to, people are going to test you. And clearly Derrick Rose has had to grow up in life in situations, people are just going to test you. You know what I mean? Canadian Andrew Wiggins, not so sure. I'm not going to lie to you. And Karl Anthony Towns really went through that. So, like, I think it's just really funny how, like, yeah, like, those two specifically were the people that he really pointed out, because those two specifically were the people that, what's her name? Rachel Nichols?
Mm-hmm.
That, like, she reported, and, like, Stephen A. Smith reported that, for the kind of reporting he does, that, Jimmy Butler has specific problems with those two. You know what I mean? But also, I kind of just want to know, who were the starters that he beat?
Bro, the only team I can kind of see him going up against is Jeff Teague, Derrick Rose, Wiggins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure who will be at the forward. Maybe Taj.
Yeah, say Taj.
And Cat. But the thing that's ticking me off the most is that nobody else was like, let me get him.
Don't
I don't know about you. Even at pickup games, if there's somebody giving somebody buckets, I'm not even the best defender in the world. But if you
That's truth.
have let that man score on you 3 times in a row, I'm asking you to switch. You gonna have to literally push me away from that man for me not to be like, come on, bro.
But also,
we ain't gonna let this happen today.
I thought about this also. I thought about this exact same thing. And I was thinking, okay, so what? Tosh has been in the NBA for about 10 years. Derrick Rose, about 10 years. Jeff Teague, about 10 years, right? Don't you would think that there's either two things. One, they could have done what you said just now, or they've been in the league this long that they saw what Jimmy Butler was doing and who he was going at specifically, and just okay, we get it. Do your thing with those dudes, because for us to win, those dudes need to step it up. Those dudes being Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins need to step it up to a different level. Or it could have been those dudes just being like, yo, this is my 11th year. Relax, yo. You know what I mean? Like, chill.
You think Jimmy Butler shot them some texts before the game, was like, hey, this is what I'm about to do. Watch out.
Low-key, he might have.
He was just like...
Low-key,
okay.
Low-key, him and Jeff Teague seem like good enough friends. He might be like, hey, bro, I got this plan today. I mean, you know, if Tom Thibodeau really don't trade me, I got to stay here. This is what's going to go down, and just be prepared. And Jeff Teague might have been like, cool. And Derrick Rose, we just would have sent back ellipsis points. You know what I mean? ...
No, I'm going to tell you about Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose did one of two things. He opened the message, and he just left it on red. He turned on his read receipt to leave it on red. Or the second thing he did, he opened it. He accidentally started to type a message, and the 3 dots popped up, and he immediately erased that and just got off. He's like, okay, that's cool. I'll be at practice. Don't worry.
Like, he seemed like the most chill, relaxed dude. Like, that whole team, besides Jimmy Butler, is like real, like cool, calm, and collected. But I'm not sure like the most positive way. Derrick Rose has been at his whole life, or his whole life. You know, you've seen some emotion here and there, but like, you know, you've seen like the end product, like, okay, he can like succeed with this aura he gives off. Jeff Teague, he's like never missed a playoff. He's like never missed the playoffs. So like him too. But like Andrew Wiggins, what have you proved to like just be so like relaxed as you are? You know what I mean?
I think that's what it is, bro. If you literally have one at just about every single level off just being you, unless somebody has like told you or like kicked you in your butt, grabbed you up in your jersey and be like, bruh, you gotta try harder. Because I guarantee you, nobody was messing with Andrew Wiggins, especially when he was playing in Canada for a little bit in high school. When he went to Huntington and Prep, he was the man. At Kansas, who else was there? I think
Joel Embiid was there. Wayne Selden Jr. was there. That was Frank Mason's freshman year. Okay. And that was Frank Mason and Devontae Graham's freshman year.
Okay. None of the people that we just listed, and none of the people from Kansas that year could mess with him athletically, bro.
Oh,
so
that's
I could
very true.
literally see him being like, the only person I think might have had the heart to check him was Wayne Selden, but Wayne Selden maybe was stronger than him, but in every other way, Andrew Wiggins kind of like.
Wayne Selden to me has always seemed like the greatest practice player of all time. Like
Bulldog.
Like
Bulldog in practice.
In practice, he probably hitting all these shots, but every time you go into a big time situation game and his uncle not in the stands with the clock, you know, besides like that's like that one dunk he had on Ishmael Wainwright was like his highlight of his career. Besides that, when all the big situations came up, he folded. So I actually don't even want to talk about that man right now. As a Kansas fan, I'm upset right now just thinking about the guy. But
I'm not even gonna lie. Wayne Selden, one of my favorite Kansas players, bro. Of the past 5.
I don't know how, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know how. But I mean, I don't know. Like Andrew Wiggins is like, I used to always want to compare him to like Vince Carter, right? Like he's gonna be this generation's Vince Carter. Like he's not like superstardom like at all, you know what I mean? Like he's not like to the superstar, but he's not like but he's gonna be like a star, you know what I mean? Like a long career as just a star. He might have a season or two where he's a superstar, but like besides that, you know, he's just gonna be the star status at that level. And every year he's proven me more and more wrong because I'm always going to be. I'm like starting to now transition to the point of, nah, he won't ever be as big as Vince Carter because he doesn't have the demeanor for it. He doesn't seem like he has a passion for it whatsoever. And the way he uses his athleticism is, it's not appealing. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, at least Vince Carter had, like, if it wasn't as, productive on the court, at least he has some flashy moves to go along with it. Andrew Wiggins don't even got that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. The way his game is, it bothers me.
But I also think that has to go with a lot of his athleticism. I don't need to have Kyrie Irving handles if I'm just about to outspeed you. Not all I gotta do is do a simple crossover and just stick the ball out because your arms aren't as long as mine and I'm way faster than you. So not only do I have a step that's gonna give me like 2 feet past wherever you're at, my arms are almost a foot longer than yours. You can't guard me.
I think that's the thing too.
Like, just off athleticism.
I think that's the thing too, though. His, there's people who are athletes, right? And they're athletes because they can jump long distances and they can, really good hand-eye coordination and really good footwork. His athleticism is his secondary jump. Like, he'll miss a shot, then he's off the ground again to get the rebound and put it back so quickly that it makes no sense. That's not a cool thing to be athletic in. You know what I mean?
I don't know, bro. That first, didn't he posterize Rudy Gobert like a year or two ago? And it was devastating.
Yes, of him. How often should that be happening?
It happens at least once. Where we all see it, it happens at least once.
Andrew Wiggins might be.
I'm pretty sure he has some. He has some more casual ones that are on I don't know. What's the youngest Plumlee brother whose name I don't care to know?
Like the one that last came from Duke?
Yeah.
I don't know that man's name. Jason?
Let's call him Chuck.
Okay. Chuck Plumlee, okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure he has dunks on him where everybody's kind of that's cool, but you're supposed to dunk on him.
Oh, come on now. Look, man, it don't matter who it is. If you get dunked on good enough, or if you're not getting dunked by, but legitimately on, no matter who you are, if you're in the league, you're getting clout. You're getting on SportsCenter, whatever that counts as nowadays. You're getting on a lot of different platforms. You get on Twitter. You're on a House of Highlights. I guarantee it. You know what I mean? Because Blake Griffin, he dunked on Kendrick Perkins, which is okay. Kendrick Perkins still had a little clout from his Boston days, but then he dunked on Chris Humphries. Who cares about Chris Humphries?
But you also got to remember what level Blake Griffin was on at that time. Blake Griffin was a superstar, basically. He could do no wrong. Everybody was okay, every time he jumped, this is going to be a poster. And the way he was dunking on people was embarrassing. He was literally wrapping his legs around their head as he dunked. It looked uncomfortable to see.
Never.
But it was beautiful to watch.
He is Blake Griffin, to the kids that are in middle school, high school, in the 2010s, he is our Vince Carter. You know what I mean? Everybody know people who the Vince Carter highlights of the dunk. He might have a crazy wild dunk every game in 2000, 2002, 2004. Blake Griffin was the exact same thing for us. Who else can you pinpoint with the dunking abilities of each game to where you're just sitting down and watching for our generation?
Sean Kemp.
For our generation? For our generation, man.
Okay, our generation, no. It's just Blake.
It's Blake Griffin. Before us, it's Vince Carter. And before them, it might have been Sean Kemp. And before them, Dominique.
Yeah.
There's one per generation, and Blake Griffin is still that, even though he got beat
by Jared Allen. Boy.
But
I'm not gonna lie, I thought I'd never see the day, bro.
I mean, also, you gotta understand, Blake Griffin low-key has short arms. You know what I mean? But
I don't care.
But you see him last night though?
No, I didn't.
Hey, look at last night. He was giving the Cavaliers. he was giving them that. No, he was giving them. No, he was giving them that work. But it's preseason, like we always say. But in preseason, you can still tell by like the way they're getting their shot off, all kind of stuff. That's like, oh, that's a nice move. You know what I mean? 'Cause at the end of the day, yeah, he put like a up and under on Sam Decker and just like banged it on him. You know what I mean? But like, he made him like a child. He made Tristan Thompson look like a child. He made every big man they had look like a child last night. And so did Andre Drummond, who had 20. Andre Drummond had 21 and 15, and then Blake Griffin had 29. And they were playing games with them. Pure games, and it was hilarious to watch.
Bro, I'm telling you, Cleveland is going to be the team where if you have a good front court, you don't even need to have a good front court. You just need to have one good big. I promise you, they might have a career high against Cleveland every year. Who is going to guard anybody at the 4 or the 5 spot?
Wait, who they got?
You got Sam.
Who they got? Tristan Thompson.
They got Kevin Love. They got, and we're not talking about fat Kevin Love who could kind of just throw his weight around. He wanted to be all lean so he could run with LeBron. That's not what we want.
It's true. We want 30 and 30.
What? Sam Decker.
He's like 6'8", though. It's just like horrible. But keep going.
And that's it that I can think of. Maybe you throw Chetty at the 4 for some silly reason. But no, it's going to be very embarrassing. When they play Anthony Davis, hopefully he just takes a game.
Is it shitting Fry back there?
That's even worse. I'm sorry.
Oh, I know. You're right.
I've never seen him dunk, bro. I've never seen him
straight
dunk.
Jump shots. Straight jump shots.
Like, that's cool. That's cool and all, but that's not.
All right, bro. I was all joking. But like, yeah. But like, just watch the highlights at least of Blake Griffin last night, because they were like dunking. Him and Andre Drummond both were dunking, pulling the rim down, hitting the floor, then like low key posing, then running back on defense. It was hilarious, yo. I was like, they're really clowning these dudes. Like, yeah, you got Colin Sexton. Like, all your best players are straight guards. Colin Sexton. When Jordan Clarkson is like your top like 3 guard, you're not doing much. Just say you ain't got much going on. Yeah. This man got neck tats now. Like,
right, that's what you do when you hang out with J.R. Smith, right?
Oh man, yeah, you just care about your image altogether.
J.R. Smith been chirping in the man ear. Hey, when you go get tattoos, bro?
Yeah, I got you now.
I got somebody.
I got you next week, yo. Shh, quiet. Man, that's crazy though. But
J.R. Smith did 3 of them tattoos by himself.
That's you see a stick figure. But for real though, like Blake Griffin, that's the crazy thing. I never thought about that. I should say, until just now. How Blake Griffin is our generation's Vince Carter, who's their generation's Sean Kemp, who's the the earlier generation's Dominic Wilkins, who was the earlier generation's what? Wolf the Stilt?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. But like, it's interesting though. Yeah, but Blake Griffin was a god, yo. Like at one point, it was him, like, before Chris Paul, in like the year Chris Paul came, and maybe the second year after that, and Kevin Love as the best power forwards in the NBA, because Kevin Love was in Minnesota putting up 30 and 30s, like on some like Charles Barkley, not even Dennis Rodman, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone type numbers. You know what I mean? Kevin Love with the weight before the Jenny Craig. And then Blake Griffin was just, being Blake Griffin before Chris Paul kind of, I get flack for this, but held him back in a sense, because Blake Griffin's.
You should get all the flack.
No. This is what I mean though.
You should get flack seeds. That's how bad it is.
No. This is what I mean. Let me explain. Let me explain. So Blake Griffin, if you watched him when he had like, what was it, Eric Gordon. You watched him when he had him and when he had Chris Paul as point guard. Chris Paul, for, all the great things he does, tends to be a throwback kind of point guard before Houston that is so ball dominant that it's wild. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like a early 2000s, mid 2000s point guard style, which is like when he came up. So like, I get it. You know what I mean? And Blake Griffin can legitimately handle the ball, especially when going against threes and fours and whenever fives have to pick him up. You know what I mean? Like, Blake Griffin can handle the ball with the best of them. Blake Griffin clearly is more athletic than 90% of them. So when it comes to running, jumping, all that kind of stuff, he's quicker than them, first step, and he has legitimate good footwork. You know what I mean? So like when Chris Paul came so ball dominant, all like the transition down courts of him like getting the rebound and pushing it himself, that all pretty much stopped. He started turning into a high post, high post to low post to DeAndre Jordan, or a pick and roll type power forward. And that's when you saw his numbers from like best power forward or like second best power forward in the league diminish. They won more. Don't get me wrong. They won more. Didn't go all the way because Chris Paul has the heart of LeBron, but not the body, so he can't handle it. But they won more, but him as like an individual, having Chris Paul there took away from like his statistics and like showing what he could really do to like and pushing it to another level, which I think here in Detroit with Reggie Jackson as his point guard, you're going to start seeing more of that Blake Griffin, because clearly Reggie Jackson's not Chris Paul.
I think my only issue with that is like you said, for them to have a successful team, they needed to have a much better point guard in Chris Paul. I think the part that kind of throws me off is that I think Blake Griffin would have been amazing. They just would have sucked, and he would have been in like a Devin Booker type role, where Devin Booker can get all this praise for being amazing, but his team with just him and the bums that are around him currently, outside of the rookies that they just picked up, the bums that were around him for the past like 2-3 seasons, Blake Griffin would have pretty much been in the same category.
But I think, you know who I think the kind of best, Blake Griffin would benefit most from a point guard like Rondo or Alonzo, in my opinion, because Blake Griffin runs the floor when he needs to. Blake Griffin can, push the break, and having a point guard like Lonzo and Rondo who will just like push it up to him and have no problem just backing off at the same time, that's what he needs. Chris Paul was too pound. If you listen to, Glenn Davis has a lot of issues that we can, acknowledge. A lot of bias towards a lot of things. But one thing that he did say right that that Popeyes. But one thing that he did say on the Colin Cowherd show that I agree with actually is that Chris Paul is too pound. Like, the point guards nowadays aren't the best point guards nowadays play off the ball more than on the ball for whatever reason. Steph Curry, he has the ball a lot, but what do you see Steph Curry doing? Damian Lillard has the ball a lot, but what do you see Damian Lillard doing? Chris Paul.
Didn't you just get on Damian Lillard last week for not being good off the ball?
No.
Or without the ball?
No. I didn't say I got him. I didn't get on him for being.
You got on him, bro.
No. I know. Let me specify. I didn't get on him for being bad or good or bad. Yeah, bad without the ball. I got on him because you guys said that CJ McCollum could come off the bench or be a six man. I'm like, for the exact same reasons you say he could be a six man, you could say the exact same reasons for Damian Lillard. But like, taking that out of context, like throwing that whole context away, Damian Lillard is a decent point guard because he plays off the ball and he can adjust to how he plays the game of basketball in the context of a 2018 format. You know what I mean? But Chris Paul, before Houston, because Houston, he does a lot of off the ball. James Harden has the ball, pass and shoot. You know what I mean? But before Houston, he was not playing like that whatsoever. It was pound, go in a circle. Hey, send me a pick. I'm like, yo, this isn't 2008. You can't be Steve Nash no more. You know what I mean? But I was one of the people that doubted him and James Harden, being able to sustain or being able to live in a basketball world that was like, great for the Houston Rockets. And I will be the first person to say that I was completely wrong.
Yeah, basically. All right. So, did you catch any of these preseason games that don't mean anything but are entertaining to watch when there aren't 137 fouls called? But I'm still gonna watch it because I love basketball and I am an addict at this point.
I watched both Lakers games. I watched Minnesota, Milwaukee last night, and I watched Cleveland or I didn't watch. I saw highlights of Cleveland and Detroit, and that was it.
Bro, speaking of Cleveland and Detroit, did you see how Ish Smith had Colin Sexton dancing? But somehow Colin Sexton is good enough on defense to dance and still get it a pretty good contest on Ish Smith's shot.
Ish Smith got a whip game, yo. Like Ish Smith, he was he was hitting with those AI crossovers, a little heads-up at the end of the crossover, like he was. But Ish Smith has like a whip game, like legit, and can knock down the open shot.
He kind of got like a hood whip game where you're doing a lot of movement, but you're not really getting past anybody.
He definitely got that.
You making Buddy look bad, but you didn't create any space. Bro.
Do you know what I like immediately pictured as he did that? You know those girl basketball players, usually like lesbians that like wear cargo shorts that like you could
okay.
No
get in front of this
like legit the ones that you can tell played basketball with like dudes their whole life, and like they was like
they kind of nice with
and don't come on now. They usually are like whatever, but like they play like dudes. You know what I mean? They had the whip game like crazy. I was like, Ish really just put Colin into the same category as one of those girls facing like Sarah Smith from Shawnee Mission West. You know what I mean? Like that's the first thing that came to mind. I was like, yo, that's crazy. And then I just kept on going my life. But yeah, Ish Smith and like the fact that Colin Sexton was like still there, like that shows a lot for a rookie. But like we all expect it from him. Now are we gonna what we gotta see is the offense.
Yeah. Hey, that boy legs was shaking like like there were marbles on the ground, boy.
He said like there were marbles on the ground. I mean, look, bro.
It was bad, but it was good defense. But boy,
I mean,
he had them standing up.
He definitely did like the old like where your feet move too fast for your body. Like he definitely pulled that one out. Like he slipped on like some marbles or like some water. Cause I saw that and I was like, ooh, he about to fall, but like he didn't. He didn't pull a Jason Tatum. But it was still nice though.
He did make that boy. He looked like Paul Pierce when Joe Johnson dropped him that one year.
No one looks like Paul Pierce when Joe Johnson dropped him. That was the most senile crossover, like trying to attempt to get a steal that I've ever seen in my life. And the fact that Paul Pierce was in the league like 3 years later after that, like, is mind-boggling. Because Joe Johnson made him look like a legitimate clown, like a clown.
Have you ever dribbled a ball in front of a baby that just learned how to walk? And when they go for the ball, they just fall forward?
No, I never did that, bro. I never did that, bro. I got more self-esteem than that.
I've done it. I do it all.
I know you do.
I enjoy it. It's hilarious. Bro, I've dunked on children before. I enjoy this.
That's different.
This is what I do.
That's different. I worked at the Boys and Girls Club. I was dunking on kids all day long, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm over here. The rims are lower. I'm over here doing doing dunks I can't do. I'm over here going between the legs and windmill on them. Whoa, you're the greatest. Why aren't you in the league? Life.
I wanted to be a teacher.
Life took me in a different direction, kids. Yo, that was wild though. The fact for Jason Tatum, the fact that it was Sam Decker, man, is 10 times worse.
Yeah.
Because it's Sam Decker. My family has this thing, right? And it's no matter how good a white man plays basketball in college, you don't know how well, you definitely never know how well it's going to translate to the NBA. You know what I mean? So when him and Frank the Tank played at Wisconsin, and they like, did they win or make it to the finals? They made it one year. They made it one year?
I think they won 1 year.
Okay, yeah, they made it 1 year. Then they won the next year, which is like impressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they beat Kentucky.
Yeah, which is like really impressive. But even at that's impressive, dog. In college, for the one and done in the NCAA tournament, that's always going to be impressive to me for 2 years in a row.
Nah.
All right, let's get back to this. Let me finish my point. Then I want to hear what you have to say about that. But they had all these accolades. Frank Mason either won or was like really close to winning Wooden Player of the Year. And
you talking about Frank Mason?
Yeah. Or what'd I say?
Mason.
Oh, my fault. KU for life. But Sam Decker had a really good tournament also. But like even with that, we were just like, we don't know how these dudes gonna look in the league. You know what I mean? Like we have no idea. What's his name? Cody Zeller. Like people thought he was gonna. Michael Jordan picked him at a really high draft pick. What has he done since? You know what I mean? So like that's always a thing. We have no idea. But Frank has had a decent career actually, like a pretty decent. It's not like superstar. It's not star, but it's like the loop between role player and star. You know what I mean?
What?
He's not a role player, but he's not a star. He's like,
oh no, he's definitely a role player. He's definitely a role
You
player.
think?
I don't even think he started last.
Am I giving too much credit?
Yes.
That's my fault.
You are.
That's my fault. Sam Decker's he's became a journeyman really quickly in his young career. I think he had a foot injury his first year for the Rockets, or his first 2 years for the Rockets, which probably set him back a lot because they're just like, why do we need this guy anymore? But that's just a weird thing. Just there's certain athletes you can just see, or certain people in college that you can just see and be like, wow, they're gonna be good in the NBA. But like people who come in the system of Wisconsin, you're just like, let's see what you do on a different level.
I'm not gonna lie. For everyone who thought Frank Kaminsky was going to work at, I don't know what people's potential for him was, because from watching him, I was like, okay, he's not stronger than Karl Anthony Towns. He's barely stronger than Karl Anthony Towns right now. Mm-hmm. And Karl Anthony Towns' body looks really, really poor.
They call this man body poor.
No. Think about it. Anthony Davis, that boy's body was sad when he was in college. Joel Embiid's body it got better throughout the season, but at the beginning, he could have ate more. There's a lot of big.
This man said he could have ate more. Oh, okay.
There's a lot of college bigs that have to go through the process to get big.
Yeah.
Frank Kaminsky, you could kind of see that's his body's finished. He's not getting any more athletic. That jump shot, that's the thing that's going to have to carry him through. He's not going to get you 10 rebounds a game. He's not that type of athlete. So anybody who was like, Frank Kaminsky's the next person, I was like, this must be a really weak draft if y'all got him in the lottery for some strange reason.
Wasn't he a lottery pick?
I think he was.
Yo, Frank Kaminsky. Okay, everybody on that whole Wisconsin team had a very college game. You, after watching college enough, you can tell who has a college game that's gonna not translate to the NBA and who does. You know what I mean? But there's always gonna be the tricky ones. I'm not sure if most people thought that Joakim Noah's game would translate to the NBA. You know what I mean? But
he was number one draft pick. So.
Yeah, but would it translate? Okay, we all know there's been busts who are number one draft picks, but would it translate to the point of him becoming what he did become? You know what I mean? Defensive Player of the Year, pulling out triple doubles, all kind of stuff. I'm not sure if anybody, you know what I mean? That's a choppy one right there. But usually you can tell if you watch enough basketball, and sometimes even today, they're gonna be like, oh, this person's gonna be so good in the league. You sometimes me personally, just watching, I'm like, are they trying to sell tickets to the lottery? Like, what are they trying to? What's their agenda? Because that's not going to be the case.
If you buy a ticket to the lottery, I got more questions than answers with you.
Look, bro, I'm in a town, I'm in a city that doesn't have an NBA team. So, like, if we did have an NBA team, I might be passionate enough to do something like that.
Philip, I've lived in 3 different places for most of my life. And that is Kansas City, who has not had a basketball team since, like, what, the 70s?
Yep.
And then I moved to Tallahassee. They just got a good basketball program at FSU, like, a year before the year I got
Wasn't the year that Bacon was there?
At least. Huh?
Bacon was there, wasn't he?
Yeah. And then my parents moved to Tampa, so I was there for a little minute. No basketball team. As a person who has been an NBA fan since he was 8, well, to the point where I was watching it, I had to watch just about every season at the age of 8. Never have I ever wanted to go to the draft to see people become millionaires. This is like going to a graduation and you don't know anybody there. Like, I'm happy for you,
sad.
but I'm so glad I didn't buy a ticket.
But you know how, like, some of these dudes, I mean, okay, I hope, right? I hope that a lot of these dudes are, like, the kind of fans that, like, have been following, like, basketball since, like, high school. Like, they, like, subscribe to Baller's Life and, like, Who Mixtape and, like, Slam Magazine. I know that's probably not the case because for whatever reason, every year there's that, commercial comes out. He says, the Charlotte Hornets have chosen blah, blah, blah. And everybody goes, boo. And they show a kid booing. Like an 8-year-old or like a 10-year-old like booing. Oh, I'm like, who is this 10-year-old, yo?
Knicks jersey who cried.
Yeah, bro, that kid, I wanted to drop kick in the face. I was like, who is this kid to cry? You don't even know what they're talking about. Like, that kid, I guarantee, knew the top 2 draft picks, and that was it. Come on now, like Porzingis. But Porzingis made everybody change their minds real quickly.
I kind of hope Kevin Knox does the same thing.
No one booed Kevin Knox.
No, Kevin Knox got booed too.
Okay.
No, that is a New York Knicks fan thing. Every time they draft somebody, they boo them, especially if it's in the first round. Because I don't watch the second round because I don't have time like that. But the first round, that first draft pick, they're booing him. And I'm like, y'all.
So what you're saying is they don't deserve to win. Like always, just because they're so ignorant.
There's a reason why James Dolan is still the owner. He's like, every time y'all boo the person I want, we gonna suck.
That's correct.
And I got money to blow. This not hurting me.
Hey, the Knicks are headed up in a upward trajectory. If they make, oh my gosh, this is so iffy. But if the Knicks, because the Knicks have a history of just messing things up. If they make the right moves in the next 2 to 3 years, the Knicks can be one of, if not one of the best teams, at least in the East. I will never say the best because clearly Philadelphia and Boston are set up for years to be crazy good, but Knox is going to be solid, like solid. Porzingis, let's see how. I don't know how a 7-footer is going to come back from ACL tear. So let's see about that. But if they get like Jimmy Butler, or I'm not a big fan, but whatever. If they get Jimmy Butler, or if they get Kyrie committed to Boston, but we all know there's liars out there. So like if he could,
like he lied in Cleveland.
Exactly. Like, come on, we all know, like, whatever. Like, you want him off your case for this upcoming season. Let's see what you do. Once the season ends. But like, if they get these individuals, or one of, or two of, they could be solid, for a long time. But the Knicks, I am predicting, will mess it up like always. At the end of the day, like, it is what it is.
Yeah. Come here. Okay. Hey, bro. So I just got a letter from the future.
What?
It says in 3 years from now, the Knicks will still be trashing.
This guy's a clown.
Bro.
Oh man, I thought you were really calling somebody in.
Like this.
I was like, who was? Like, kind of special guest he got? Oh,
why do you?
That's funny, yo.
Look, come on.
That's funny. I'm not gonna lie to you. This man said, "Come on in. I got a message for the future." Okay, look, that's not like a mind-blowing world shifter prediction, because
it is not supposed to, because it's facts. I got it from the future. It is signed and dated in 2022, bro.
Bro, the Knicks are ignorant, bro. But the Bulls have a better chance. Like right now, the Knicks have a brighter future, but more than likely the Bulls will pass them up in some kind of way. Actually, I'm not to lie to you. I did watch the highlights to the Bulls game the other day when they played the Pacers. That's another game I did watch. Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine is doing Zach LaVine things, bro. He's another guy who's like a less athletic, shorter Andrew Wiggins. Like all the God gifted talent in the world. The only difference is he's a little tougher.
I have a hard problem like evaluating people who are so dependent on their athleticism. You know what I mean? Like Andrew Wiggins, Zach LaVine. Unfortunately, my favorite player, one of my top 2 favorite players of all time, a young Derrick Rose. You know what I mean? Like, so dependent on athleticism that, like, once that's gone, how are they going to look? But Zach LaVine's athleticism is so otherworldly that, like, I just don't understand. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just like, how is that a person? You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. But like, he's so dependent on his athleticism that, like, where's his skill? You know what I mean? Like, he's got like some skill, but like that skill is still based off his athleticism. Like, he'll create some separation, but not a lot of separation. He'll just jump higher off his jump shot than the person defending him to get a jump shot off. But like, once that's gone, like, I don't know. I don't know his work ethic, so I can't like, talk that. But it's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, bro. We also can't go too much into his work ethic too, because he has always had like some type of little ding or injury, like that messed him up during the off season, so he really can't work on anything. So that sucks. But
speaking of injuries, so I was watching ESPN the other day, and what's it called, the Jump, and Rachel Nichols was talking about like Anthony Davis for the last like 2 seasons. He's played a majority of the games, like a high majority of the games. So we can't call him injury prone anymore. Which is like, how he's been in the league for 6 years now? 6 years now, yeah. So like, just based off these last 2 seasons, we can't call him injury prone at all anymore. I'm like, okay, whatever. But I never hear the word injury prone used with Kyrie, when low-key in the league, he might be the most injury prone person outside of Chris Paul.
No, it's been used, but his injuries have happened during like garbage years. Like, you're not really like, you don't care that Kyrie Irving broke his foot.
This man said
they won 3 games and it's the 30th game in the season. Like, you don't care that he got hurt like that. You're almost happy that he got hurt. So we don't got to be like, he's wasting his time.
But the only season he hasn't been injured in is the one where they won a championship with LeBron. Then he said, "Ooh, my first healthy season. Let me leave the man that probably made that happen because I didn't have to carry so much weight." Literally, at Duke, his one season in college, he missed half the season because of his injuries. Like,
I think it was more than half the season. He only played 11 games.
Oh, my bad. He missed the whole season pretty much because of his foot. Like, I don't know. It bothers me that, like, you should hear injury prone used with him a lot more than what it is. I guess it is. But, like, the media has their own agenda. They want to use certain words for certain people and not for other people. Like, they use it for Blake Griffin, which is, like, accurate. You know what I mean? Blake Griffin has had a significant amount of injuries throughout his career, but like Kyrie's had the same. So like, I'm just like, be consistent, people. You know what I mean? I just hate inconsistency within the media, and I just tend to have, while listening in the last like couple months, heard it a lot.
Hey, you part of the media now. You might as well go ahead and use it.
No, bro, I'm Joe. Bro, I'm Joe Button, yo.
You got to put it out there, bro.
I mean, that's true, bro.
Don't worry. Don't worry. You know I'm going to put a tweet that says, Philip Dixon believes so-and-so is injury prone. I have to.
I appreciate it, but also I'm Joe Button. I'm part of the media, but I'm not part of the media at the same time. So, I don't know. This is like the media. Technically, yes, but like... until we like get like that real following, shout out to all you who listening right now. Like shout out to all you guys who are listening right now. Shout out to everybody that's supporting us.
My mom, yo.
Yeah, shout out to my mom. Shout out to my dad. Shout out to everybody supporting us. Man, Alan, you got man boobs. Shout out to all of us, but or all of you guys. But you know. Until we get like that real cult like following, we're just gonna, you know, we're putting in that work, we're putting in that effort, so eventually it's gonna come. But until that comes, I'm not part of media. I'm just one of these other fat dudes on the internet talking trash about NBA players.
Nah, bro, you gonna be a part of the media. I'm about to make you seem like the most clickbaitiest dude ever. It's okay. You don't have to take this.
I would drive to Florida and chop in your throat if you do that.
Hey, good. Drive to Florida, because I won't be there. Cause I don't
my bad. Big facts. My fault. I meant D-Town. But yeah, no. Yeah, but like the media just has their own agenda. It's like throwing me off. But can I ask a question? What is Rachel Nichols' like credential? Because like she gets the first call for the Jimmy Butler interview. She got, remember a couple years ago? Or not a couple years ago. That was like 2 or
she put in work.
Last NBA season when Dwayne Wade signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers. She got the call to like go at LeBron and like drink wine with Dwayne Wade. Like, who is she?
She put in work, bro. She was like I think before she started working with ESPN, she had like 10 plus years in the field. Like she's put in work. She's made connections.
Oh my God, I'm not saying she didn't. Like I just don't know. You know what I mean? Like clearly I got to Wikipedia her. Yeah. I got to, you know, do my own research on her. Cause like I just see her as like, you know, when it comes to interviews, you know what I mean? As like the individual that people go to first. Maybe because she's like the most unbiased. Maybe because she's like legitimate what she's talking about. Maybe because people know that having an attractive woman is going to bring more people to watch their own interviews. Like honestly, it might be that. I have no idea. So like I gotta do my own research to figure out what it is. But you know, shout out to Woj though, because Woj is the GOAT.
Yeah, whatever.
You're a clown, yo.
No, bro. Any like stars, or you want to go ahead and move on to the next thing?
Any stars? What do you mean?
Like any stars that like popped out to you, or upcoming stars? Because my favorite player this preseason is Miles Bridges. Like he can do no wrong to me. I have yet to see him shoot a jump shot. I'm pretty sure he has, but these dunks, bro. He looks so effortless jumping.
Yeah.
High.
Yeah, bro.
Just so high.
He's been wildly athletic for years. Like literally for years. Yeah. It's wild. But to me, like, does it have to be rookies? Or like you met up and coming?
It can be anybody. It can be anybody.
Excuse me. Stars. While watching the Lakers games, because I've been really focused on them for whatever reason. Kuzma seems off. The announcer said it last night, but I've been thinking it. Like, he just seems off. He's, like, missing shots and missing lays that he, like, made all last year that, like, he's not making this time. And it's just, like, maybe it's the preseason. Maybe I gotta wait for him to have, like, a different mentality once the regular season starts. But, like, that's been, like, noticeable to me. Very noticeable.
That stardom getting to him? Stardom is getting to him?
It better not be. You come off the bench. Come on now.
Yeah, but he wasn't coming off the bench like that last year. You get enough people talking about you, especially because he has all the confidence in the world. For some people, actually getting confirmed that you are one of those seemingly untouchables, that's not good for everybody, bro. And I don't know too much about Kyle Kuzma like that to say he's one of those people, but
he went to Utah, right?
Yeah.
Ugh. So, no, shout out to Jalen Dixon. I got a cousin up there playing football right now, wide receiver. I don't know what it is. Let me evaluate him more, and I'll come back in a different episode and tell you exactly what I see. But he was just missing a lot of like bunnies that he would like, just make all last year. Funny thing about last night though, so last night was Lonzo Ball's like second game back, right? Lonzo Ball would have had 15 to 20 assists last night if LeBron or Ingram would have been playing. Like, the dimes he was giving out were wild. It was just he was giving them out to Svi, and he was giving them out to, you know, Michael Beasley and things like that. So, like...
Hey, Svi got a chop, yeah.
And Svi did give him a lot of... Svi got him, like, 3 or 4 assists last night, but like from knocking another shot because he set him up in such good position. You know what I mean? Lance Stevenson got ejected last night, missing some shots. But like, I'm telling you, man, quote me, and I know you're not the biggest fan of Lonzo. I know you're not, but quote me. Wait, are you?
I don't hate Lonzo.
I mean, look, we had a whole conversation about Lonzo back in the day, and you were like, you know, you talk about Lonzo in college was must see, Lonzo NBA, you know what I mean? So like I just took it as, you know, you're not the biggest Lonzo fan in the NBA. But this is going to be Lonzo's year, like breakout year, because there's completely a difference by dropping those dimes, so whoever dropped them last year, and dropping those dimes to apparently what Brandon Ingram has turned into, and LeBron James, and a finisher at a legitimate finisher at the rim, Rondo, and things like that. You know what I mean? Like Lance Stevenson, all kind of stuff. Like it's going to be a big difference, and this is going to be his breakout year. Like everybody's, I'm not a huge fan of him. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of people apparently, but Chris Broussard, right? Chris Broussard was like, yeah, this year we're not going to be talking a lot about Lonzo. It's always going to be about LeBron and Brandon Ingram. And I seriously think that since Lonzo has such a laid-back demeanor and his dad's not, his dad's doing his whole, like, JBA thing and, like, going like, to Europe on the whole entire, all his business ventures, and he's not even in the spotlight so much right now at all, that people are, like, undercutting him for his assets and skill ability. His skill, I don't need to say ability, his assets and skill, and are underestimating him for this upcoming season and how important he's going to be to the success of the Lakers. I really think so at this point. From all the interviews I hear of these so-called sports reporters and all kind of stuff, Laker quote-unquote experts, that I think this year it might be silent, it might be quiet, but we're going to be like, at the end of the day, like, he's turning into what we thought he could be. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, what do you think about what do you personally think about Lonzo Ball? Since apparently you are a fan.
I wouldn't say I'm a fan yet, because it takes a lot for me to become a fan of somebody. I'm only a fan of like 4 people in the NBA, to be completely honest with you.
Okay.
Lonzo has, I feel he has a lot of Boston. I can't think of his name right now, but he kind of looked like Kermit the Frog.
Childish.
Rondo. He has a lot of Boston Rondo without the edge.
Hold on. What? Okay. Continue. Just acknowledge the fact that I've never heard that before.
Yeah, like he reminds me of like Boston Rondo without the edge. He's going to be able to find everybody on the court at any given time. He's going to be able to set you up in a place that you like. He's going to make probably not the most spectacular pass, but he's going to make the right pass, and he's going to be able to lead a team.
Yeah.
He's just going to be extremely quiet when he does.
See, I was thinking about this also because, UCLA at, Chino Hills, he did these exact same things and was just as quiet back of like a demeanor, but the ball traveled through him. So like his stats were like wild because when you make the right guy in high school, everybody tries to do too much, all kind of stuff. College, people try to do too much. But when you make the right play and your ball's going through you the whole entire time, your stats are going to fly and be ridiculous, right? But like in the NBA, he's doing and he's going to do the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. He's going to do the exact same thing but the ball's not going to travel through him as much. But the basketball plays, and outside the analytics and all those like little dweebs on the computers, from the eye test of like true basketball heads and fazans, you're going to be like, okay, every team needs a guy like this to win a championship, and the Lakers know that for sure. 2 years ago, maybe they didn't know they're gonna get LeBron, and maybe they thought they're gonna have to put more on his back. But now, since they do have LeBron, and not as much has to go on his back, you still need he's the kind of player that translates in all assets of the game of all winning, and that's what you need. And if I know that, we all know Magic knows that, because Magic knows more about basketball on his left pinky than I do. So,
yeah. Yeah, but shout out to this preseason.
It's been a fun one.
It depends on what you call fun, bro.
Okay, it's been fun for like the average person, but it's been fun for me.
I don't know, bro. As much as I like watching preseason, it's almost like watching the JV team play. But the JV team is filled with like obvious people that should be playing varsity, but they're missing something. So it's just kind of a lot of just, what are you doing? Like, is this what I have to watch during the regular season? Are you sure you want to keep this guy? But
that's true, because like I saw a lot of people last night that I guarantee I won't ever see again. Just saying.
Yeah.
Claim to fame.
Seeing them be like, oh, this guy on a 2-way contract. Oh, so you talking about like dudes that's not gonna play unless 3 more people snap their legs. Like everybody in every guard on the Spurs.
Relax.
Did you hear about this, bro? No, did you hear about the Spurs?
Murray,
and 2 other guys whose name I can't think of right now. One dude's out 6 to 8 weeks, so we're not gonna see him until pretty much, but like
All-Star break,
late November. And then Murray's probably out for the entire season because he tore his ACL.
Oh, probably. He definitely is.
Yeah, and then another dude, I think he tore something pretty big too. So he's probably out for the entire season. Like,
but guess what? Greg Popovich.
What?
he'll make it work. Like the way the Spurs use role players is like nothing you'll ever see anywhere else. So like if role players go down, then you just got chucked up to, okay, it'll happen. You know what I mean? Because like Meek, he's a star. He's a replacement for a starting point guard. He like does his job. You know what I mean?
Wait, who is?
Jody Meeks. What's his name?
Jody
Meeks? No, the Australian. The Australian.
Which Australian?
The Australian. My fault. It is Spurs. The Australian that shoots with the hair, with the dreads now.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
His last name is Meeks.
No, his last name is not Patty Mills.
You right.
I'm
tripping. Patty Mills. Yeah, right. So like, Patty Mills can do it. He does his job. Like, he never tried to do too much. You know what I mean? But like now, since you have like at least now you have DeMar DeRozan. Like, honestly, at least you have him now. Yeah, more weight's gonna fall on his back, but like of all people, Compton, DeRozan can definitely handle it. And LaMarcus Aldridge is going to be soft in play, super finesse like always. Like, it's going to bother me. Like, I just come to learn that the way he plays basketball is just going to bother me at all times. So, like, it is what it is. Did you hear Draymond Green talk about when he tried to talk trash to Tim Duncan? Talk about the Spurs, actually?
Oh, yeah. He was like, he just stared at him like he was a tree or something.
He's just staring at him. Like, and then when he said that, I imagine Tim Duncan just blankly looking at you like, that has to be the most, like, I'm not getting through this man at all. You know what I mean? Like,
did you see the picture that I think ESPN
I did.
put, like, a picture?
I did.
Of who just, with the wide eyes, was just like, oh, yeah, you can't talk to that man. You're going to hurt yourself.
But Tim Duncan.
You're going to be winded. He's just going to be like, oh.
But you saw Tim Duncan at, like, the Spurs practice?
Yeah, just looking all old and stiff.
Old,
but he's still
getting buckets? I was like,
no, like, that's how good he is, like, technically. You mean to tell me I have no fluidity whatsoever anymore? I can barely move It looks like somebody put iron rods in my arms and legs, and yet you still can't block this this hook shot.
Question.
I'm gonna go over the shoulder.
Question.
And you're not gonna be able to stop me.
How?
What?
But has Tim Duncan ever looked fluid? Honestly.
That's a good.
Honestly, because like, look at him when he was like on the same team with David Robinson. David Robinson running up and down the floor. Tim Duncan looking like he got rods in his arms and his legs. What it looks like. He's never been fluid at all. He just makes the right play.
And you know what I would really want to see?
What?
I want to see him swim, bro. You know he was supposed to go to the Olympics for the Bahamas before that. I think it was a hurricane that messed up the only Olympic-sized pool in like the country. But I would love to see him swim.
Wait,
because you
what?
Like think of all the swimmers you've ever seen and how fluid they move, and think about the way Tim Duncan.
That's true. Like what's you know when like the swimmers put like their hands over their head and they like swim like in like a wave type motion. Mm-hmm. That specific stroke, I can't imagine Tim Duncan doing. Like I literally am trying to imagine it right now, and I just can't because Tim Duncan, Draymond said, is like talking to a tree. He's like Groot. You know what I mean? Like
actually, Groot moves better than Tim.
Oh, Groot. But I guarantee Groot's turnaround hook is nowhere near as good. I guarantee it. Oh, that's wild though. That's crazy because Tim Duncan really looked like he walking on stilts. That's crazy. Wow. Okay. I never really thought about how the way he walks, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's gonna like I'm gonna think about the rest of the day. I appreciate that. Yeah. Making my day one better Tim Duncan joke at a time.
That's what we do at Traveling Hoopers.
Yeah.
We make fun of players.
Yeah. Sometimes.
And occasionally give good content.
Exactly. Sometimes Philip might go a little too far. But you know,
all the time.
You know,
all the time. Philip.
Look,
that's what you're here for.
I'm here for the comedic relief. That's.
Bro, you're here to make sure I still have a moral compass. That's what you're here for, bro. That's what our friendship is.
Really? To make sure Alan Pettigrew has a moral compass. Like I should feel like, hey, I'm glad about that, but like at the same time, like I feel like it don't. That statement doesn't sit right with me for some reason, and like I really can't like pinpoint why. Maybe because it makes me seem like I don't have a moral compass. Like
no, you're just a little bit more loose with your lips than I am.
Oh,
I think about it.
Because you have like a job. You have like a career and like things like you're like building towards, like in like the professional sense.
Be an educator.
Like no, like you have.
Think about that.
Say it again.
You said you want to be an educator. Come on, bro. Think about that.
Okay, first of all, I don't want to be an educator. I want to write books. I want to write books and like that's it. I don't want to teach no kids or no students. I just want to write books. But you have like a 9 to 5, so like you have legitimately something to lose. I'm in grad school. I don't because some of these school teachers are wild too. You know what I mean? So like I don't have I can do a little more talking and not have nowhere near as much to lose as you who has season tickets to the Dallas Mavericks games, which
next week
I can barely afford my
we play the Wolves.
You play who?
We play the Wolves next week. I really hope Jimmy Butler doesn't
Are you going
next week? Because I'm gonna be hot. Of course I'm going.
Yo, how close are your seats?
Don't worry about that. I'm poor.
he got nosebleed season tickets.
Look, it's not nosebleeds because I'm not that high up. But when they do the T-shirt cannon, there's no way I'm getting a T-shirt.
Yo, then what's the point, bro? What's the point of getting season tickets though? At that point,
networking.
No, to network with the nosebleed fans. So who are you networking with?
Yes, because you got to remember the people who get. I'm all in the same email links as everybody who has real season tickets. So just because I'm poor,
there's email links.
Does not mean I don't get to meet the millionaires who have actual money.
Yo, I've never had. That's a lie. Okay, no. I personally have never paid for season tickets. My parents had them some years ago for the Royals, but me personally, I don't get the funds for that. So the fact that you're saying there's email links, that's news to me. Because when you're in a broke situation like I am, like I shop at Aldi's, like I am broke. So like, So like for that whole email thing, that's news to me, and I appreciate the networking that you're doing to set traveling hoopers up for prosperity in the future. I really do, Alan. Thank you.
Yeah. So when I talk to Mark Cuban, I'm going
too far.
Hey,
too far. You're not talking to Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban got he got Shark Tank to do.
He's like, you broke. Hey, Steve, how you doing, man? You broke.
I guarantee. Only if he actually looks at these email links, he has everyone's net worth next to their name. And Alan, I'm sorry, I don't know how much you make, but I guarantee your net worth is
Alan, my net worth is still negative, yo.
So Alan,
I still got student loans to pay back.
So what you're saying is your seats are above like the what do they call like the house club seats of like, you know, in the middle of every arena, like right under where like the little like lights are or like the little advertisements are. You're right above those.
Okay,
the club,
I'm not too far away
the
from
box
the
office, box office seats. That's what they are.
I'm not too far away from the skybox seats. I'm like right above them.
Alan gotta. You're gonna yell at Jimmy Butler, and then they can't hear you.
No, I'm gonna throw something at Jimmy Butler because.
Oh, you can't be an ignorant black guy just throwing stuff at the crowd, yo. You can't.
It's not about being an ignorant black guy. It's about being an ignorant fan. We're all the same once we throw something on the court.
That's not true. What are you talking about?
Malice in the Palace. Malice in the Palace.
You want to start a Malice in the Palace in Dallas?
No, I don't want to start Malice in the Palace, especially not with Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler not about that Ron Artest action though. Like Ron Artest is different. Not Meta, because Meta elbowed James Harden in the head, and we all thought that was crazy. But Ron Artest, he was on a different level of action, and Jimmy Butler, he not about that. Like Ron Artest would murder that man. I'm like he would. Like it is what it is. So look. Jimmy Butler's on like a Jermaine O'Neal level, and might not even be on that level. like Jimmy Butler is on a level of 2018 hard. You know what I mean? Not like 2004 hard. You know what I mean? Especially like a 90s hard. So,
hey Philip,
what did you do?
You're 6'5", 200 plus pounds.
Yeah.
I am 5'10", in tennis shoes, probably about like 180. Everybody is Ron Artest when they're at the NBA level.
No.
The boy's in shape for this.
No, you can tell. you can tell when there's somebody who's a little bit different in the head. Like, you can definitely tell. And Ron Artest, he's just a little bit different. Like, something twists in his head. And Jimmy Butler, he looks like he's like, you know, like we said earlier. He probably sent out a text to his teammates earlier, the ones he's friends with. Ron Artest wouldn't send out a text. Ron Artest wouldn't let nobody know. Ron Artest don't got friends like that. You know what I mean? Like Ron Artest, he over here.
But you don't gotta send Ron Artest. Ron Artest don't have to send you the text message. I feel like you're getting that 24/7 with a Ron Artest, bro.
You go out to either team. Imagine that.
You out here yelling for no reason. It's like, come on, bro. What are you doing? The steak's not even out.
Hey, bro. Why'd I imagine them having steaks too? Bro, that's crazy. like,
because they're rich.
Big facts. I literally thought about getting a steak last night, and I was like, where can I get steak from?
And then you thought about it?
I Googled steaks, and the only one I could afford was Ruby Tuesdays. And that's the budget I'm on, and that's not the budget you're on. So let's keep everything 100. But yeah,
for the Applebee's steak, that's about it.
Who?
Me.
We all know you go into a legit steak house, Alan. Come on now.
No comment. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
I got you.
What you got? You got anything for us? What you working on? Outside of hopefully buying a cookbook sometime soon.
Nah. It's YouTube, man. It's 2018, man. Shout out to Rachel Ray. So right now I'm just, I'm waiting for the NBA season to start so I can start writing the articles on the TNT basketball games that come on.
3 more days.
Outside of, say it again?
3 more days.
Yep, 3 more days, and I'll be on my grind every Tuesday and hopefully Thursday. And besides that, I have another podcast, PG Anecdotes. Subscribe to our stuff. Shameless plug. Subscribe to, we have everything from YouTube to Instagram, where we do most things on Instagram. Twitter also. PG underscore anecdotes or just PG anecdotes. It's me and my Guatemalan friend doing our thing, talking about pop culture, so on and so forth, politics. If you're into that, follow there. But for basketball and traveling hoops specifically, we just set up a SoundCloud page. SoundCloud. So we just set up a SoundCloud page. So, if you made it this far, we really appreciate it. Just subscribe to our SoundCloud page at at Traveling Hoopers. Every episode we drop is going to be on there as well. So yeah, I appreciate that for all the support.
All right, Phil. Okay. This is Alan Pettigrew signing off. I should have some more work coming to us, especially for the Texas season. It actually starts in 2 weeks, and I just got invited to one of the bigger open season tournaments, and I'm going to be so mad.
Wait, you're getting invites?
Yeah, bro, I got plugged in, bro. I got plugged in with a couple coaches down here.
I see you.
And the newest coach that I just got plugged in, coaches at Geyer, and they have like 2 or 3 dudes that's ranked in the top 100. So they're plugged. They're gonna be nice this year, and I can't wait to see them boys ball out. But I will be missing those games because I got to go to LA and relax. Bro.
Wait, what? Oh my god! Humble stunt. You a clown for that? Oh, you a clown.
But no, I'm gonna be working out there too. I'm gonna see if they got some late season stuff popping. If they don't, then
Dude, you ignorant, man. You ignorant. This man.
But yeah, make sure to follow us on Twitter, and eventually our Instagram page is coming as well at The Traveling Hooper. We're going to be having NBA content and high school basketball content coming to you all season long. And thank you for listening.